Man, don't let anybody tell you that post-con sickness is not a thing, because I'm feeling it right now, and it's bodying me right now for free. But you know who I am, you know what I do, you know who I do it for, and that's for you. So let's get started with this Momocon 2015 review. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it, but I guarantee you my body's gonna show it. So I want to start off by just giving an open blanket statement of if you're cosplaying something, you have an idea of cosplaying something. I don't care if you're the right gender, I don't care if you're the right race, you're the right height, doesn't matter. You do what you want to do, you express yourself, you show that you have a big connection to the fandom, that you love what you love, and you express that through your cosplay. I don't care what you are, I don't care how you do it, I don't care how you get it done, I don't care if you got to do it on a budget. Do what you think is fun. Enjoy yourself. That's what we're here to do. That is what conventions are for us to converge together and just enjoy the hype and make the hype happen. That's what it's about. It's all love there. Now, speaking of all love, if it wasn't for the people of Momocon, and by that I mean the people who came and paid their money, got badges, and actually enjoyed the festivities, Momocon would have been a complete bust for me, because it didn't matter if we were the people that we met at the Omni Hotel, people we met in the parking deck on the way to the convention, whether it was the people that we met around Phillips Arena, whether it was the people that we met in the Georgia World Congress Center, whether it was the people that we went on with the crazy shenanigans at the aquarium. It didn't matter if we were the people that we met on the way to the aquarium, the people that we met at the subway, the people that we met all over the convention city, all over the city of Atlanta that actually went to Momocon, whether you're the Bumblebee cosplayer or any of the cosplayers in general, the people that we talked to, sat down with, the random group of people that kind of got me to go to Waffle House with them at like 4 in the morning. It didn't matter who you guys were, man. We all had a great time, and you guys were amazing. And if it wasn't for all of you coming together, 20 plus thousand of you guys making me laugh, smile, enjoy myself, just having the best weekend I've had so far in 2015, Momocon 15 probably would have been a bust. And I say that because Momocon staff, I don't know what you guys were doing. And this is not all of you. This isn't say all of Momocon stuff. This is not taking all of Momocon and just throwing them under the bus like they're garbage and they didn't know what they were doing. But it was a select few of you who were acting out of line in terms of making fun of people's costumes. And I'm just like, all right, they're a furry, but that doesn't. What are you insulting the whole lifestyle for? I'm not a furry, but who gives a shit? They're doing what they want to do. They're doing what they love. They're expressing themselves in the way that they know how. Just let them do it. You don't have to sit there and be like 5 feet from them saying that they're this, that, and the other, that they probably have sex with dogs. Like, I don't understand why they were going this far. Then you had people making fun of people's costumes that were working staff, like, oh, she's too big for that. Oh, she's too black for that. And it's like, what are you doing? Why were you even volunteer to staff something just to make fun of people's costumes? It's mind-boggling, and I'm just absolutely disgusted when people do that, especially when you're staff, because when you're staff, whether you're volunteering or not, I don't think you understand that you are a representation of the convention. And whether you want to believe this or not, when someone sees Momocon staff making fun of someone, not only is that person making fun of them, they can make the connection that, oh, this is what Momocon passes for staff. This is what Momocon wants to represent them. When you volunteer for Momocon, not only are you representing yourself, you're representing the convention that you are working for as well. So when people see that, that is a big turnoff for them. Whether you want to acknowledge that or not, completely up to you. I can't change that. I've staffed conventions in the past. I know how this works out because I actually talk to people. Because when you're staff, it's a good idea to, I don't know, ask the people who are paying the money to actually be there, to be your fellow congoers, your, consumer base, your install base, the people who actually want to make your convention better. It's a good idea to listen to them. And I heard that there was a lot of not listening to, due to the simple fact that there were certain complaints that people would complain about, and people would just say, just ignore them, and that's not really a good response, due to the simple fact of, well, yeah, you could just ignore them, but if ignoring them was an easy thing to do, I wouldn't have even needed a reason to come find you. Not only that, but now there's this whole victim shaming scandal thing that's going on. Not really too sure what's all about that, but the basic synopsis of it is, a girl says she was harassed. She was being sexually harassed by not just, regular people at the con, but people that are actually working at the con. Then they decided to say, hey, guess what? The way you're dressed, you deserved it. And no, I don't even want to hear it. That's not even, like, if a con staff person is saying that, you deserve it because the way you're dressed, That's dumb. Because if they deserved it, then every guy in there should have been going to jail immediately, not just for sexual assault, but they should have been going to jail for, I don't know, being a pedophile due to the simple fact that we saw a 16-year-old girl, and I know she was 16 because we got on the elevator and she's like, I don't even think the dude that I was dancing with knew I was 16. I don't know what 16-year-olds were doing in the rave anyway, but that's not the point. Point is why on earth did she have a thong on? And like you know, these were not booty shorts. I mean, these things were up in there. Like that, if her waistline was a vacuum, it would be perfect because them things was like. And on top of that, she had a bra that said hentai across it. Like, really, bro? Hentai? Really? And you'll tell them that it's fine to wear that and that that's A-okay and that's greenlit and ready for service. But then other people who, you know, have, I don't want to say large talents because that sounds kind of sexist or something like that, but, you know, with large breasts and, you know, they're wearing a costume and you tell them that they got to put this away because it's too lewd. I'm questioning decisions that are being made here. You got jailbait walking around with panties just sucking right up in there with, you know, hentai and lewd actual words across their body and, you know, girls walking around with barely anything on, half the stuff looking like it's transparent, and from far away you might think they were nude, but certain people who were wearing just slightly scantily clothing are now all of a sudden victims and oh, you deserve it. Let me look at how you're dressed. I mean, I just understand you okay with one, then you tell certain people they got to go to the room and change, but then other people don't have to go to the room and change, even though they're far worse. Then you tell people that, oh, it's just a hot mess and it's just something I don't even want to get involved in and I'd rather not discuss at this point. Because, I mean, I know it doesn't really happen to dudes that much, but I mean, if I'm dressed as like Kratos or something, I'm not saying I ever will dress as Kratos. I mean, let's be honest, I ain't got the body for it, but whatever. Let's say I was dressed as Kratos, and you know, I'm wearing like that loincloth type of garbage, and then another dude just walks up and just grabs my penis. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that at all. That's a good way to start a fight. That's a good way to die, especially in Atlanta. So you just grab people's penises out there, and it's just like, okay, really? And then like, what if it's a girl grabbing your penis and then she squeezes it really hard, trying to just rip it off, and then runs out the elevator like she's like, like it's a troll. Well, it's not. That's life down there. That's millions of lives down there. You know that seed? That seed down there. You have no idea how many potential kids could possibly be down there and how many you just murdered. That could be a genocide, and I am not okay with that, and neither should you be. But that's not the point. Point is, if I go, hey man, there's people out there just grabbing my junk, and then she's like, well, dude, you kind of got it just there. I mean, you're kind of asking for it. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is I want to be this character and not be bothered by being this character. Cosplay is not consent. I hate that phrase because it just sounds so. It sounds so remedial because it sounds like something that should never have to be said. But I guess I do have to say it now that cosplay is not consent. Just because someone is a character does not mean you get to roll up on that character and just do whatever you want because they're a character. They're not in the show. They're a human being in a costume, and therefore the human being part supersedes being in a costume, and therefore by proxy, you should treat everyone in a costume like a human being, or dare I say, treat people how you would like to be treated, which is a fundamental thing of society, that, or at least it should be fundamental, but as you can clearly see that it's not. And all in all, that type of stuff, and the fact that that stuff comes to the forefront so often in these conventions sometimes, especially at Momocon 2015, puts a damper on things. And if it wasn't for the people that, you know, are actually, you know, at the con, you know, and trying to enjoy the con, trying to make the con what it is, man, this stuff wouldn't have been that great because I didn't even go to a single panel because normally at a convention, panels jump off the page to me. But there was nothing on this roster of panels that really jumped off the page that said, Prion must go all the time and must be there front and center. I mean, we only went to the rave for giggles because, I mean, there was a couple of room parties that we went to that were awesome, and some of them weren't so awesome, but hey, you know, what can you do? But let's be real here, guys. The rave was just kind of like filler. And speaking of the rave, let's just be honest here. Momocon, I don't know what you're doing. I understand that you guys want to get bigger. You guys want to get badder. You guys want to get stronger. You guys want to become the convention of the South. You guys want to be the talk of the town. You guys want to beat Dragon Con. You want to beat AWA. You guys want to beat every convention that is here in the United States and across the world. You guys want to be the best. But my problem is, last year, when it was smaller, there were certain things that people complained about and things were getting out of hand and, you guys really didn't have a good grasp over. So how is it that you guys don't have a grasp and don't patch or fix things up, but you guys want to get bigger and you want to expand? If you couldn't handle 8,000 people, how can you handle 12,000 people? And if you can hardly handle those 12,000, what makes you think you can handle 20, 30, 40,000 plus? What makes you think if you can hardly handle where we are now, that you're just going to be able to jump to being better than San Diego Comic-Con next year? It doesn't make sense. You guys have to reassess the situation as the problems come in. Not just say, well, that's not really our problem right now. Because when you do that, you lose people. People get mad. People complain. People will stop other people from going to your con. And if that happens, you're going to go down a downward slope. Whether you realize it or not, so once again, that's on you. But all in all, Momocon 2015 was pretty good. It was like a 6 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing. But the convention itself really didn't hype itself up for me. Also, speaking of Momocon and being unorganized, what was with the red deck, guys? The red parking deck? The deck that was actually, advertised by Momocon as being the deck to park. Because we got there on Wednesday. And once again, the red deck's supposed to be 24/7 parking. The red deck was closed. When we got there, around, 5:45 p.m., the red deck was closed. Then we heard that later on in the evening, someone tried to leave the red deck, but no one was able to leave the red deck because the ticket machine was malfunctioning, and they had to call 911 to get somebody to break down the door, or the arm gate, and get it to open so they could leave and go somewhere, which I thought was amazing that someone had actually called 911 to get out of a parking deck that they're paying $15 a night to be in the first place. So they pay $15 a night to be trapped to pay more money. There's got to be some sort of hilarious morality story in that. And some people are going to say that you blame the Omni Hotel for that, and while that may be true, Momocon, you got to have some sort of sanctions and some sort of safety valves for these issues. You got to make sure that there's someone on that. I'm not saying that you got to be on the Omni Hotel staff or, you got to be on everyone else's P's and Q's. But if someone's having these type of problems and people are reporting this type of stuff, don't just say, oh, that sucks, or just shrug your shoulders. You got to be on this stuff. That's what you're there for. That's what people want from you. That's what they need from you. That's what they demand from you. I've never seen so much ineptitude with con staff in quite some time at any of the cons we've been to. And like I said, that's not saying that it's most of you, that it's all of you, or that it's even half of you. From what I've seen, it was a very select few of you, but the simple fact that it happens and in front of so many people, you do understand that that carries weight. If one staffy or staffer puts a damper on someone's convention, to them, it's all staff. You guys have a big, very important and vital role to the convention, to each individual person that you interact with. There's someone not too long ago who had problems with the security. Now, I'm not sure if she was Momocon security, but she was doing badge check, so I'm assuming that she was Momocon security, and therefore, by proxy, she's Momocon staff. When the dealer's room was closing, we were coming down the escalator, and she looked at us in our face and said, "You guys have to go back because it's closed down here." And because we were going to the game room. We weren't even going to the dealer's hall. But they were saying that because the dealer's hall was closing, that the game room was closing, clearly misinformed on what was actually going on. So we get down there, and she's like, "No, you have to turn around. You guys have to leave. It's closed." So then we said, "No, you should call somebody." And then she called people in charge, said, "Tell them that it's closing down. Tell them that they got to go." And they said, "Actually, the game room's still open." She didn't say sorry. She didn't apologize. She just kind of laughed it off and just went on about her business like we didn't matter, like fuck us, whatever. Yeah, okay. That's cute. That's cute. That's real cute. So, yeah, that was a thing. So, Momocon staff, you guys have a lot of leveling up and getting better to do. Now, for those of you who actually did do, a good job, because, I met some of the Momocon staff people. Some of you guys were really good. Some of you guys were chill. We hung out. Some of you I actually saw at the Waffle House after hours after you guys got done doing whatever you were supposed to be volunteering for. And I got to say, you guys did an all right job. Some of your time constraint issues and the whole bragging about being a 4-day convention, but then having, your Thursday start at 7 p.m. for some people due to the simple fact that some of the stuff got delayed with time constraints and time conflicting issues. and then some of your stuff not being open when it was supposed to be open, and then your stuff supposed to end at 3 o'clock on Sunday with the game room being open till 5, even though you had to close early due to rain and moving things, and it's really 2.5 or honestly 2.25 day convention, but you claimed it was 4 a day for so long because you needed to do so. When it's little things like this that just keep stacking and 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 stacking on top of each other, and then you have the big issue about people that are actually main factors of the convention going experience, the people who are actually pushing the bigger higher ups of Momocon are doing this whole victim shaming thing. It looks really bad for the con, and it's a really bad rap, and the people cannot save it for you year in and year out. I mean, eventually there's going to come a part where me or my crew aren't going to be able to connect with so many people so often to where we're going to notice more of these flaws, because this was why we were having a good time with the people. Imagine if we were having a mild time with people. Imagine how much more stuff we would have noticed and heard about then. So you got to think about these things next year, Momocon. You got to step that game up. So will I be going to Momocon 2016? More than likely. More than likely, yeah. Probably be going there because it's pretty hype. But as far as I'm concerned, Momocon, there's a lot you can do better. I mean, going to a new convention center, I understand you guys have got some kinks to iron out, but you should never ignore your people. And that right there honestly pisses me off, even though I haven't really had like a major complaint. But if you are ignoring people who are complaining to you in person, especially live at the venue, stupid. It's fucking stupid. That shit should not happen. But this has gone like way too long. It's like 16 minutes. I highly doubt any of you made it this far. So for the few of you that have, appreciate it. I appreciate your support. Hope you guys actually come out the next Momocon. And if you did have a bad Momocon experience, I hope to see you guys at AWA or give Momocon a second chance next year. And I really hope that we guys can connect, we can meet up, we can hang out, and hopefully I can make your convention experience much improved from this year's Momocon. Have a good one, guys.